In the heart of Gaza, amidst streets overflowing with people and sorrow, lived a 13-year-old boy named Yusuf. He was a familiar sight, always carrying a small, worn-out medical bag. Yusuf wasn't a doctor, not in the way the world understands it. He had no degree, no clinic, no fancy equipment. But to the families in his neighborhood, the children playing in the alleys, and the elders watching from their doorways, he was their doctor. He was a beacon of hope in a world that often felt shrouded in darkness. Every time the terrifying sound of explosions echoed through the city, a strange thing would happen. While most people ran for cover, seeking safety from the chaos, Yusuf ran too. But he ran in the opposite direction. He ran not away from the danger, but directly toward it, his small medical bag bouncing against his side. His heart would pound in his chest, not just from fear, but from a desperate urgency to help. He would arrive at scenes of devastation to find people injured, scared, and confused. With hands that were steady beyond his years, he would gently clean their wounds, carefully bandage their cuts, and offer sips of precious water to those in shock. He moved with a quiet confidence, his presence a small island of calm in a sea of turmoil. One day, a foreign journalist, astonished by this young boy's bravery, stopped him. He watched as Yusuf skillfully wrapped a bandage around a little girl's scraped arm, whispering words of comfort to her. The journalist knelt down and asked, "Yusuf, why? Why do you risk your life like this? You're just a boy." Yusuf looked up, his eyes clear and his smile calm, a smile that seemed to hold a wisdom far beyond his 13 years. He replied softly, because our Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, taught us something very important. He said, "The most beloved people to Allah are those who are most beneficial to others. I just want to be one of those beloved people." His words, simple yet profound, hung in the air. He wasn't chasing glory or recognition. He was chasing the love of God by serving his creation. He believed that every small act of kindness, every wound cleaned, and every tear wiped away was a step closer to that divine love. One evening, after a particularly heavy day, the air was thick with dust and grief. Yusuf heard a faint cry coming from beneath a pile of rubble where a building once stood. Pushing aside his exhaustion, he rushed over there. Trapped under the heavy remains of a collapsed wall was an old man, his face etched with pain and despair. The sight would have made many adults freeze in helplessness, but Yusuf didn't panic. He didn't cry. Instead, he closed his eyes for a moment and whispered a quiet prayer. "Ya Allah, give me strength. Please give me the strength to help him." With his prayer as his shield, he looked around and found a sturdy piece of wood. Using it as a lever, he began to push against the heavy debris with all his might. The concrete was unforgiving. As he strained, a sharp edge scraped against his own hand, tearing the skin, but Yusuf barely noticed the pain. He kept pushing, his focus entirely on freeing the man. Finally, with a great heave, he managed to lift the debris just enough for the old man to pull his hand free. His own hand was now bleeding, but seeing the man's relief was all the reward he needed. Later that night, as the call to prayer, the adhan echoed with a haunting beauty through the quieted streets, Yusuf finally allowed himself to rest. He sat on a curb, his small body aching and his hands trembling from the day's exertion. He looked up at the vast star-filled sky, a canvas of infinite peace above a land of finite suffering. He spoke to the heavens, his voice a soft whisper, "Ya Allah, I know I can't heal them all. I know my bag is too small and my hands are too weak. But please, if I can't heal all their wounds, just let me have eased one heart today." Just one days turned into weeks, and finally, a convoy of international aid workers managed to enter Gaza. They came with supplies, medicine, and trained professionals. As they made their way through the neighborhood, they found Yusuf. He wasn't resting. He was sitting with an elderly woman who had lost her entire family, gently holding her hand and listening as she spoke of her memories. One of the aid workers, a seasoned doctor, approached her. The woman looked at him with tears in her eyes, and then she looked at Yusuf. "This boy," she said, her voice thick with emotion, "he is a special one. He heals the heart long before he touches the wound." And that is how Yusuf's story spread. He became known not just in his neighborhood, but to all who heard his tale as the little doctor of Gaza, a boy with no medical degree, no formal training, but with a heart overflowing with two of the most powerful medicines known to humanity, iman, unwavering faith, and rahmah, boundless mercy. The moral of Yusuf's story is a powerful reminder for us all. Allah doesn't look at our titles, our degrees, or our status in society. He looks into our hearts. He sees our intentions and our compassion. Even a child armed with nothing but love, courage, and a desire to serve can become a source of immense healing and a vessel for divine mercy. Thank you for watching. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that aims to inspire. Until next time, stay blessed.